You in 2021-2022 employed, recruited over almost 300 staff, almost 42 drivers without advertisement. That is against even the Federal Character Act itself. Because it's only if it is above 100 that you need to, if it is below 100, that you need to apply for a waiver. And in doing that, the law is very clear that until and unless the agencies will face a consequential defect, should waiver is not granted to it. You write, you give people conditions to examinations and other things so that you get the most qualified among them. Do you think, Chairman, in your wisdom, that recruiting 300 staff, citizens of this country, without advertisement does not change a lot of millions of Nigerians that are supposed to be given equal opportunity in terms of the employment process?
Sir, thank you very much. I very, very necessary at that time that they be recruited, and I ensured that I did not, and we did not, shortchange those who are qualified. And I will give reasons if you are permitting. Number one, we were not even aware that those materials will be ready at the time. These CBT centers will be ready at the time they were ready, and we put it clearly in there. We were expecting, but they were not within our control. Some of these centers were handed over to us shortly before the examination by the NCC that graciously gave them to us. And we felt that it is the interest of the nation that we do not waste them for that year because of the enormous money we will pay to private centers, which might not even perform as much as we needed. And we felt that given the fact that we recruit 7,500 ad hoc staff who work for us every year, and about 50% of them take our examination. We examine them every year. We have a pool of these people that have been working with us who we had to, some of them we have to prevail on them, prevail on their establishment to come to us. That was the reason. We felt that we were doing that in national interest.
Okay. Finally, before I yield the floor to my colleagues,
yes.
Assuming the exigencies at that moment, I agree based on the explanation provided. Waiver, do you think from your record submitted, you have adhered to the principle of federal character?
Yes, sir, I would say as
the records are here. Yes, I am laying a foundation to asking you for that question.
Sir. I can tell you, sir, to the best of my ability, we did. And when I say to the best of my ability, even where we do not have people, I have records to show that I have to, like Northeast, like South, I had to go and meet even governors.
Well, you will not have people if you don't advertise.
No, sir.
You collected waiver to do a classified recruitment.
Yes.
You didn't give opportunity to the citizen to. How do you expect to, in any case?
Yes.
Let me allow my colleagues to ask for that question. Yes. Your mic.
For those that you taking, you see, when you do advertise, and at the end of the day, you have your long list, short list, how does people know that there's vacancy in that agency to the extent of you shortlisting and eventually employing those that we normally take? I see, we are worried that how does people know that there's employment when it's not advertised, and how do you source for those people? That's just my question as to rather to what.
Just the same thing with what I said. You went on those vacancies that their states are being changed to be covered. Do you think that that is fair to the son of nobody who doesn't know any governor from the South and a citizen of the South who is qualified to be recruited by JAMB? To that is his question. Take note. Other members will ask you. It's not time for you to respond. One of Maki before.
What's on the record before us is 176. Yeah, you requested 86. Later in November, towards the end of 2015, you recruited 90 as a matter of urgency. So we need more
Clarification. Yeah.
And also in 2018, you also recruited and get a waiver of 150. I think maybe at the end of our sitting, I may request the indulgence of our chairman and my honorable colleagues that we need you and the federal character to come and tell Nigerians why issuing and violating the rules and the act that created federal character, if you issue a waiver is based on less than 100 or 100. Anything above 100, you form a habit of splitting it, like that of 2015. 86, 90 is above 100. Also in 2018, it is also a recruitment of urgent matter of 150. Nigerians need to know what are the criteria you are using for these waivers. Everybody knows that JAMB has a specific period of conducting their exams. So at least from now, you should start preparing, advertise. So for eligible Nigerians, those who don't have anybody in National Assembly, who don't have anybody in the executive, they can apply and they are competent. Please let us try and adhere with the rules and regulations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We have not, he have asked you, and if all the records of your recruitment is above 100, why do you choose all that? This is a common question that any member will ask you, to apply for waiver. In a strategic agencies like JAMB, where you need to show good example, assuming your cutoff mark in a university is 150, and someone decide to do 40, would you give him admission based on exigency? A university decide to go contrary to your cutoff marks. So you have to respond to the question asked by members. Take note, take note.
In page 30, there is a letter you wrote to the chairman, Federal Character Commission. You said permission to replace 39 candidates who failed to take up appointment with JAMB. Please, Mr. Chairman, I would like to create the indulgence of this House to request that the chairman, JAMB, furnish this committee with the names and phone numbers of those people who failed to take up the appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. May I yield the floor? Any questions? Okay.
And you issue timelines for candidates applying, and you keep very strictly to your timelines. And when those timelines are violated, such candidates lose the right to be admitted into tertiary institutions. So as a stickler to timelines and regulations, you need to explain to this committee why, as enunciated by my colleagues, you have also violated regulations. Then secondly, to also ask, I see you recruiting drivers. Are you aware, if any, a policy about driver recruitment in public service? Those drivers so recruited, who are they attached to? What job specifications? Knowing fully that for quite a long time, public servants, drivers have been monetized. Thank you.
Thank you. May you respond to the question?
We have about 40 offices all over the country, and these offices have pool vehicles, and those pool vehicles are not attached to people. They are to perform the functions of the board, and they are not attached. Those who are privatized or monetized are those given to those. Indeed, there is no official cast, so there couldn't have been people attached to them. Thank you very much. On the issue of timeline, I want to say, and I'm still saying it, where I'm emphasizing it is that even now it's still imminent. is imminent in the sense that today we are approaching November, December, when we will be preparing for next exam. We don't know how many people will be gracious or agencies will be gracious to make available to us centers that we will use. We couldn't have advertised when the centers were not in place. As I mentioned to you, for instance, JAMB on its own established Owerri Center, 750 something. Kaduna, 1,000. Ebino, 250. These ones we know and we plan for. And we make sure that we get people who will go there. But assuming which is not impossible, by October this year, NCC, out of the pressure we have been saying, oh, two are ready for you in Abuja. Where do we get people to man them? So those things I said, they came, if you look at that here and the letter we wrote, we had the privilege of, yes, we worked very hard by putting pressure on those people, and they assisted us, and it was ready just enough for the examination. And we felt that if we had recruited people, it would not even be approved for us because there was no basis for it. But it was because the centers were ready that even now, as I'm talking to you, we are still working. If we are to advertise to where, the minister that will give approval would say, where do you want to put them? You can manage those you want. But if we have the centers given to us, none
of us have problem with whether you need those staffs or not.
Oh.
Our only problem, if you get the questions well, is you needed staff to man various centers.
Yes.
And you decided a closed door process of engaging those staffs. Yes. Do you think that was right? Looking at the records you gave us, in almost all your recruitment process, you don't want to advertise. Why?
Mr. Chairman.
And if, based on your testimony, you didn't advertise, and other zones couldn't cover up their requirements, their personal needs, and you decided to approach governors, I quote you right, south. Again, do you think you are doing the right thing to give equal opportunities based on the national objectives, that Nigeria should be a land of bright and equal opportunities to all citizens? Have you satisfied the provision of our national objectives?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While I appreciate and respect your point of view that it will be better if you advertise, I want to say that the fact that some places were not represented is not just limited to whether they were advertised or not. That was not the first time people were being recruited. And when I say some governors, I also can say even House Committee, Senate Committee. There was no committee that I had the opportunity to appear before that I do not tell them we have problem in this area. Even if we advertise tomorrow, we will still have problems in those areas. I will tell you, sir, that this issue of advertisement...
You are before us, sir. You don't give us assumptions. Even if you advertise tomorrow, you will still get... I assure you, if you advertise, you will not be suffocated to an extent of going to meet the governor in any part of the country to get the vacancies filled.
Sir.
So advertise, do what the law say.
Okay.
If you do what the law say, and you didn't, assuming you advertise, and we saw these imbalances, nobody will query you. Okay. But because you didn't advertise, and it further strengthened things that, I don't want to use some heavy words. You didn't advertise. It encourages a lot of issues that is anti-provision of our extant rules and regulations. So advertise.
Okay.
If you advertise and people did not come to apply, it's a different thing. That is why in our letter we said, give us the report of the process of your own recruitment. And it is from this report that we are engaging you.
Thank you, sir. The second issue I want to address is the issue of recruitment replacement in 2015. In 2015, I was not the registrar then, but I take full responsibility. There were two, were 86 and 96 and 90. It might be that they don't want to beat the 100. For me, I believe that it's like contract splitting. If I have to tell you I want to come before 100, I told all the authorities, including the head of service, including the budget office, I disclosed to all of them, this is what I need, and this is the way I think we should have it. If anybody, I don't think that seeing the need at that time, I believe that that may be the reasons why all of them approve of it, because they were aware. Sir, I'm telling you, as I'm telling
I am happy that you have been very frank.
Yes.
Sir. I am happy because 86 and 90, you said just like contract splitting.
Yeah.
Perhaps your predecessors, because they want to beat that clause that say advertise if it is above 100, they decided to split it so that they can beat the provision of our extant rules that says if it is above 100, you must advertise. Because they don't want to advertise, they split it. This thing is not, it may induct JAMB, but it may equally give us a platform to recommend in the future the use of waiver, the abuse of the use of waiver. We may decide at the end of the day as National Assembly to come up with a provision that waivers should not be granted. And if waivers are not granted, JAMB wouldn't have in 2015 decided to panel beat the process of recruitment in connivance with federal character, because there must be connivance. For you to be granted waiver twice within 2 months, there must be connivance to get 86 approval for 86 and again get approval for 90. That makes it not against the law, but it is equally against the law. Where we are asking question now, that is why we are saying this. If you are here now, know that what you are going to do in JAMB, another person coming there will be answerable to your decisions. So, if you need a staff of 86 and 90, 156, apply for 176. At once, advertise, give opportunity to Nigerians who does not know anybody to apply in JAMB that we saw your advertisement, and that will equally give you the opportunity of choosing qualified candidates, just like you set exams for the citizen of this country to be enrolled in university. Assuming, it's just like telling us, JAMB, that your exams will be conducted based on waivers. You do it closed door, you invite some candidate in your office and ask them question and give them the mark. You can, it's the same thing as that. I know, if that happened in JAMB, you will be the first person to scream.
Of course.
You will be the first person, like you have been screaming. So, but again, other things are happening that we are screaming on behalf of Nigerians. And I hope you take note. Answer the last question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I want to say that. Oh, yes, I've come to that. I want to, thank you, sir. I want to say that the issue of candidates or giving them opportunity is a good thing. I think it's better. But I want to, with due respect, call your attention to the fact that while solving one problem, we are creating another one. If you want to create, what
I expect, sir, is we take notes. We have seen the wisdom in you, in us, frowning at issuance of waiver. As JAMB, I expect you to admit the fact that your previous recruitment have been conducted without advertisement, and you assure this committee that you will take notes in going forward. All those things. I appreciate you for being frank and honest, but if you are arguing, I think we will, in any case, you give us another submission. So that I am doing this for JAMB to learn, and for this committee too to know where we are heading to. Go and look at your nominal role. Give us in flash the summary. It will not be up to 10 pages. We don't need the names. State by state, we will compare with what we have here. Plateau, tell us how many you have in JAMB. Kaduna, 36 state. Jigawa, give us the analysis of the nominal role state by state. Submit it to us.
Thank you,
by tomorrow, so that you will know the defect and the danger involved in waiver kind of a thing.
Yes, thank you.
So we need it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Tomorrow, if need be, for us to equally interact with you based on that summary that we require from you, we'll invite you again. Thank you. Say what you want to say.
Okay.
If you have other things to say.
Yes, I want just to say that, yes, I've noted what you have said, but when I had wanted to call attention to the fact, because when the chairman was talking, what I got from your thing is that it's not just about this. You are saying that you want to see what you can do to make things better. And I'm saying that why we are solving this problem by saying advertise, another problem is coming, because it's very likely that in some cases, for instance, we conduct exam every year to recruit ad hoc staff. So in process of recruiting this ad hoc staff, we know that we have a lot of problems, because to recruit up to 7,000 candidates ad hoc that will work for us, so many times there will be imbalance in one way or the other. Do we have, let me give an example. You have 96 centers in, say, Lagos. 96 centers of CBT centers in Lagos. You have maybe 4 in Kebbi center. If you recruit people to go and you spread them, this is not where you needed them. You get the point. There are many other issues. Some of them, since you said I will have opportunity.
You think, Chairman? Yes. 6 centers in Lagos and 4 in Plateau, for instance. It is in the spirit of federal character that you share your recruitment, if you are doing it based on your centers, to be based on the centers. But in a situation whereby you have 4 in Kebbi, you are recruiting 2-2, and we now saw you recruit 1-1 in the centers in Kebbi, and 7-7 in the centers in other part of the country. That's when we will query. But the 96 centers in Lagos that you gave example, there is no law that say it must be people from that state that will occupy and operate those centers. So you can share it equally across the state in the spirit of the provision of the law and post them to various centers. Where they refuse to go, like in the case of Fort 15 that my colleagues mentioned, which let your agency apply to federal character. You will apply again that you have recruited so number of staff. You don't even need to apply. You will just replace them and back it up with the fact that you had a provision of 150. You recruited 150. Only 130 reported. You have equally gone to those same areas that are deficient to cover those balance. It is defendable.
That's what we did.
So if you have 100 centers in Abuja and 3 centers in Plateau, and you recruited 3 citizens of Plateau, 100 of Abuja, Committee on Federal Character will query you. Because nothing stops you sharing it equal among the state and posting them to the various centers.
Thank you, sir. But I just need to call your attention to my experience.
Thank you.
My experience is that from Northeast, for example, since I got to JAMB, I must have recruited not less than 30.
So give us that, those breakdown will help us in. I think in the spirit of us getting more facts from you,
yes.
JAMB will be re-invited here after submitting the summary to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may take your leave. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
you.